Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Parivrajakacharya Ashtotarshad Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 9, entitled The Lord Incarnates as Mohini Murti, Shloka 16 onwards.
18. Because yesterday we did 14 and
Yes,
wait,
16,
yesterday
17.
Yes, 16, 17 and 18 today we chant. Yes.
So 16 and 17 doesn't have purport, so we'll read that and then we can do 18 together. Pranmukheshu paveshteshu sureshu Dijijeshu cha Dhupamodita shalayam Jushtayam malya deepikai Tasyam narendra karavorurushadkula Shronita talasag Gatir madavivalakshi Sakujati kanakanupura sinjitena Kumbha stani kalasa paniratha vivesha. Translation. O king, as the demigods and demons sat facing east in an arena fully decorated with flower garlands and lamps and fragrant with the smoke of incense, that woman, dressed in a most beautiful sari, her ankle bells tinkling, entered the arena, walking very slowly because of her big low hips. Her eyes were restless due to youthful pride. Her breasts were like water jugs, her thighs resembled the trunks of elephants, and she carried a water pot in her hand. Text 18.
Okay.
Tam Shri Shikhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna Nasakapolavadhanam Paradevatakyam Samvikshya Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena Devasura Vigalita Stana Pattikatam. Please repeat. Tam Shri Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Tam Shri Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Nasaka Polavadhanam Paradevatakyam
Nasakapola Vadanam Paradevatakyam
Samviksha Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena
Samviksha Sammuhur Utsumita Vikshanena
Devasura Vigalita Stana Pattikantam
Devasura Vigalita Stanapartikantam
Tam Shri Shikhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Tam Shri Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Nasaka Polavadhanam Paradevatakyam
Nasakapol Vadanam Paradevatakyam
Samviksha Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena
Samviksha Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena
Devasura Vigalita Stana Pattikantam
Devasura Vigalita Stanapartikantam Tam Shri Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Tam Shrim Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna
Nasakapola Vadanam Paradevatakyam
Nasaka Polavadhanam Paradevatakyam
Samviksha Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena
Samviksha Sammumuhur Utsmita Vikshanena
Devasura Vigalita Stanapartikantam
Devasura Vigalita Sthanapattikantam. Word meanings, please repeat. Tam,
Tam
unto her. Shri Sakhim,
Shri Sakhim
appearing like a personal associate
appearing like a personal associate
of the goddess of fortune.
of the goddess of fortune
Kanaka Kundala,
Kanaka Kundala
with golden earrings.
with golden earrings
Charu,
Charu
very beautiful.
very beautiful
Karna,
Karna
ears. Nasa,
Nasa
nose. Kapola, cheeks. Vadanam,
Vadanam
face. Paradevata Akhyam,
Paradevatakyam
the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord
the personality of Godhead,
the personality of Godhead
appearing in that form. Samviksha,
Samviksha
looking at her.
Sammumuhu
All of them became enchanted. Utsmita, slightly smiling. Vikshanena, glancing over them. Deva Asura, all the demigods and demons. Vigalita Stana Pattika Antam,
Vigalit Stanapatika Antam.
The border of the sari
Border of the sari
on the breast
on the breast
moved slightly.
moves slightly.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Translation. Her attractive nose and cheeks and her ears adorned with golden earrings made her face very beautiful. As she moved, her sari's border on her breast moved slightly aside. When the demigods and demons saw these beautiful features of Mohini Murti, who was glancing at them and slightly smiling, they were all completely enchanted. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura remarks here that Mohini Murti is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a feminine form, and that the Goddess of Fortune is her associate. This form assumed by the Personality of Godhead challenged the Goddess of Fortune. The Goddess of Fortune is beautiful, but if the Lord accepts the form of a woman, he surpasses the Goddess of Fortune in beauty. It is not that the Goddess of Fortune, being female, is the most beautiful. The Lord is so beautiful that he can excel any beautiful goddess of fortune by assuming a female form. That's the end of purport. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tam Shri Sakhim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna Nasa Kapola Vadanam Paradevatakyam Samviksha Sammoho Rutsmita Vikshanena Devasura Vigalita Stanapattikantam. Her attractive nose and cheeks and her ears, adorned with golden earrings, made her face very beautiful. As she moved, her sari's border on her breast moved slightly aside. When the demigods and demons saw these beautiful features of Mohini Murti, who was glancing at them and slightly smiling, they were all completely enchanted. Hare Krishna. So another challenging word to speak on. So here Lord himself has appeared in the form of a woman, and as Prabhupada is mentioning, that Goddess of Fortune is very beautiful and she attracts the whole universe, whole creation. But when Lord appears as woman, she defeats the beauty of the Goddess of Fortune. But in one sense we have to understand there is no difference between the Supreme Lord and his energy, Goddess of Fortune. So the Supreme Lord is the energetic, and Goddess of Fortune and other living entities, they are parts and different parts and energies of Krishna. So in one sense it's all one package, but it's a matter of display of various opulences. So generally Goddess of Fortune exhibits this opulence of beauty and wealth like that. But Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of all 6 opulences, as we know. Shad Aishwarya Purna. what's the shloka?
Aishwaryasya.
Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagyayor chaiva shannam bhaga itingana. So these 6 opulences come from Krishna, the supreme reservoir. He is the reservoir of all opulences and all rasas. So everything comes from him. He is the source of everything. So the source must have greater quantity as compared to anyone else, all the parts. So the source must have everything else. That's why the argument of impersonalists can be very easily defeated, because they say that the topmost thing, or the topmost, they don't say being, because they are impersonalists, they don't recognize personality, so they don't say the topmost being, they would say supreme or absolute truth is impersonal. But then this argument can be very easily defeated. We have personality, and all the animals have personalities. So the supreme will not have personalities? How is that possible? This is how actually my sister, she was, before coming to Krishna consciousness, she was following some impersonal path. And so this is the argument I gave her, and she couldn't reply, and then she understood, intelligently she understood that yes, if a dog can have a personality, personality means likes and dislikes, and a different nature. So if a dog can have that, can't God have it? God has to have it. In mathematics also there is something called universal set. Universal set means it has everything, and other smaller subsidiary sets have some parts of it. So Supreme Lord has all the beauty, all the wealth, all the strength, all the fame, everything, and then all the other parts and parcels have some part of it. And we are attracted to those little exhibitions of opulences. So what to speak of how much we will be attracted to the source of everything. So just logically we have to understand. In this material world, there are rich people, there are beautiful people, there are famous people, and there are strong people. So we get attracted by those aspects. I remember there was a workshop once for new people, and the speaker, they showed some short clips of all these 6 opulences being exhibited in this world. So he showed the strongest man on earth. He was lifting such a heavy weight on the big bar. He was like a power lifter or something. He was lifting, and before lifting that, his coach, I think he slapped him on his face just to buck him up, and he was like massive, like a mountain, big person, big muscles, and then he lifted such a heavy weight, and he became world's strongest man. So people are attracted by that, and then in the same lecture or presentation, that devotee showed other aspects, present beautiful aspects and famous aspects, like that he showed in that clip. So we are attracted by these manifestations, little manifestations of beauty, fame, etc., these 6 opulences. So just logically, if we think how much we will be attracted by the source of everything. Prabhupada used to give this example. We are attracted by golden ornaments. People, men and women, they put different golden ornaments to make themselves beautiful. So how much we will be attracted by gold mine. In Australia, there is a place called Sovereign Hill. Many years back, maybe 150 years back, they discovered that there's gold there. So from Europe, many people went. They were the early settlers in Australia, and so because there was gold, everyone was attracted. Travel was not that easy in that time, but still people went there to find gold. And even now some gold is found. Now it's like a tourist spot. The old gold extracting equipment is there. One time His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj gave few seminars. He had a retreat there in that place. Now they use that place as a tourist spot. So devotees organized a retreat there. So we are attracted. So how much, if we are attracted by golden ornaments, how much we will be attracted by gold mine? We will be attracted. So just like that, we may not have full attraction to Krishna now, but logically, in the beginning stages, logically we have to understand that we must get attracted to Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities and his activities. We have to be attracted. So that's why when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear about all these aspects. And daily hearing, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya, will make sure that we will get attracted slowly. In later section of in 11th canto, I think there is a verse which says Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya, means by bhakti you get bhakti. What does that mean? Jai Shri Shri Radha Parisishwar Nitai Sachi Sutta Jagannath Balisodhar Maharani Ki Jai. What does that mean? By bhakti we get bhakti. One angle to look at it, as Acharyas point out, is by Vedi Sadhana Bhakti we get Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. In Vedi Sadhana Bhakti means we follow rules and regulations, we chant, we associate with devotees, we serve the deities, we distribute books, we distribute prasadam. So all these things we do as instructed by Guru and sadhus. We do all these services. We may not have full attraction. Sometimes we are attracted, sometimes not. We do have some good days in bhakti when we are ecstatic, but we do have some bad days. We may be sick, we may not have proper sleep, we may have had some argument with other devotees. So there may be some bad days in the beginning phases. But still, we should do the service. One time one devotee told Prabhupada, I was going to shop for temple, but I did not want to do it. I did not have feeling that I should do this service. So Prabhupada said, did you actually do it in the end? Did you complete the service? He said, yeah, Prabhupada, but my mind was not there and I was not feeling. But he said, no, that's not the point. Did you complete the service or not? He said, yes, I did the service. I did some shopping and I brought some stuff for temple. He said, that's more important. So in the beginning Vedi sadhana phase, we are not fixed, we don't have ruchi or taste or attachment to service. But if we perform it and keep performing it under the instruction of Guru and senior devotees, then Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhakta, Vedi sadhana bhakti will convert into Raganuga sadhana bhakti when we will like to do it always. And the famous example Prabhupada used to give is of Mangalarti, waking up early in the morning. It's austere to wake up early. But initially we do it because we are told that this is good for you. So logically we understand it. And even in material life they have this saying, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, wise. There is no bhakti about it, but generally also they understand it's good for you. It will make you healthy, wealthy and wise. But early morning waking itself is not enough. So when we wake up, we attend Mangal Aarti. So initially we may not want to do it, but when we do it, in Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, we wake up with the feeling that, oh, I want to see Krishna. I want to see Krishna. Just like Brajvasis have this eagerness. They want to see Krishna. In the morning when Krishna wants to go to the forest, he takes cows and calves. When he was younger, he would take calves, and then when he was more than 5 years old, then he started taking cows. So his friends would come and they would be so eager to see him. They would just peep from the entrance door and they would like to go with him and see him. So like that, like Brajvasis, we will also develop one day this attraction for Krishna. Oh, I want to see Krishna, I want to serve Krishna. So just by following these rules and regulations, we will develop. Prabhupada gave this definition of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. You do it because I say. That is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. We do it because there is an order. Just like army, they are very, very strict orders. Are there any devotees who have been in army? No. Police and army, they are very strict training. So they do what they are told. So we have to develop that sort of understanding. Many devotees, those who have you have working experience, I also have worked in a professional environment. We know we do all the duties as told by the senior managers and the boss, like that. But when we come to bhakti, we have a different understanding. Oh, we will do as we like. In bhakti also we have to follow the management system, guru's order. So if we do that in bhakti, then eventually we will actually develop raganuga, attraction for Krishna, spontaneous attraction. Prabhupada translated that raganuga as spontaneous attraction. Spontaneous means natural, automatic. There won't be any force. Just like a family man, Prabhupada gives this example in Nectar of Devotion in the beginning. This is just not a devotee grahastha, but just general person, family man. Prabhupada says he's driven, there is a motivation. Why does he go to work and work so hard and earn money? Because he has relationship with his family. He has that relationship, so he wants to provide for them. So he has that motivation. For a devotee, of course, it's a different motivation. Devotee wants to support his devotional lifestyle. There is no free lunches. So unless someone is like a brahmachari or sannyasi, then we have to work. So that's for devotees is different. But Prabhupada gives this example of a general family person who is not a devotee. He is also driven because there is that relationship with the family members. So in the same way, on a higher level of bhakti, the person is driven because he realizes his relationship with Krishna, that he is part and parcel of Krishna, he is servant of Krishna, and he is very much motivated and inspired spontaneously, automatically to serve Krishna. So we aspire for that stage. So that's why these descriptions are there. Mohini Murti in the form of a woman is attracting, here the word is written, Deva Asura. She's attracting all the demigods and the demons. And she's glancing at them, slightly smiling. They were all enchanted. So these descriptions, very graphic descriptions are there. The verses that we read, very graphic, like details are there. So details are there, and these are descriptions of spiritual form of the Lord. There is nothing material about it. That's why these descriptions are there. We may feel bit awkward by hearing or reading these descriptions because we have some material attachment still. So we may feel, oh, what will general people think if they see these sections of Bhagavatam? There is such a graphic description here. But there is nothing material about it. Lord has a body which is Satchidananda Vigraha. It's made of eternality, bliss, and it's full of knowledge. There is no matter in Lord's body. As in Ishopanishad it is said, Lord has no veins, there is no blood or there is no organs like that. It's a body made of Satchidananda. It's a complete body. There is no deficiency in that body. So we must hear these descriptions and get purified. Because to associate with Lord, we have to also become purified. Like pure devotees. It is mentioned in Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Just like the Supreme Lord has Satchidanand Vigraha, and different parts of the body of the Lord can act as other parts. Lord can eat with his eyes, right? He can walk with his hands, he can walk with his eyes, we don't know how, but he can. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Every morning during darshan we sing that Brahma Samhita prayer. So when a devotee becomes purified, he also attains Satchidanand Vigraha. He also acts like Lord. There is a pastime in 10th canto. Lord went to one place, I think it was called Mithila, as far as I remember. Anyway, there were two devotees there. One was the king of that region, and one was a poor man, poor Brahmana. So king's name was Baulashva, and the poor Brahmana was Shutadev. So Lord went there with sages and his whole entourage. He went there, and they both came to welcome him. And the poor Brahmana, I think he was waving his chadar like that. He was so happy, and king was very happy. He received the Lord. And now Lord had to decide where to go, because both were on the similar level of devotion. So where to go? So if he goes with one person, it would be like a partiality. Other person may not feel good. So there is no limitation to the Lord. So he expanded and he went with both of them. And it is also mentioned, what about the other people in his entourage? Where did they go? They also went to both places. So just like Lord expands, Lord's associates also expand. Krishna has 16,108 queens in Dwarka, and he expands and he's present in each of the palaces. It's not that he's in one palace one day, then he goes to other. No, simultaneously he's present everywhere. And in the same way, his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, they are also present in all the palaces. So they also expand. Usually in Bhagavatam, it's not very elaborately mentioned, but in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's mentioned that the Supreme Lord expands, and his pure devotees can also expand because they have the same body, just like Lord, Satchidanand Vigraha. To associate with Lord, we have to come to that level to associate with him. Just like this big person, prime minister or president of a country, so his associates, they are also very qualified. Not an ordinary person from the street cannot just associate closely with president or prime minister. Here you have prime minister, right? So in the same way, we cannot associate. So we have to purify our heart. And it is said, there are six types of impurities: lust, anger, greed, so on, in our heart. And when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we become purified, Cheto Darpan Marjanam, and then our heart becomes a purified place where we can invite the Lord. If you invite a guest, you don't invite a guest, especially if the guest is a very prestigious person. You don't invite such a person in a dirty place. You have to clean the place. If there's a big man coming to our house, we clean the place nicely, you decorate it. So how can we invite the Lord in our heart when it's dirty? So we have to clean it. So we have to clean this dirt which are born of mode of passion and ignorance. So in second chapter we know of Bhagavatam, first canto, Tada rajas tamo bhava kam lobhada eschaye chetetayar anaviddham sthitam sattve prasidati. These are the effects of rajo and tamoguna. What are the effects of mode of passion and ignorance? This kam, lobha, lust, anger, greed, all these things are effects of mode of lower modes, passion and ignorance. So once we follow this devotional process, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya, our heart becomes cleansed, and then we are established in goodness. And then further, in those series of verses in second chapter of first canto, it is said, then when we are established in mode of goodness, then slowly we become very happy, spiritually happy, and then we are established in this knowledge, and then we see Krishna face to face. Means our heart has become cleansed and Krishna has actually come and taken the seat there. Of course, in one sense, Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is there in the heart already. But what it means is he is there, but we are impersonal towards him. Someone may be sitting in your house, but if you don't look at him, don't serve him, then it's as good as if he's not there. So it's like that. He is there, but we are impersonal towards it. General public, of course, you all are devotees, you are daily from morning to night serving Krishna, serving to his needs, so that is good. But generally speaking, we have to first become qualified and then Krishna will actually come. And this is how Advaita Acharya invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the word used there is hunkar. Hunkar means loud cries. He used to chant the holy name and call Mahaprabhu or Krishna that please come. Advaita Acharya as a teacher, Acharya is a teacher who teaches by example. He saw in the society at that time, he said, someone is doing pious work, someone is doing sinful activity, but no one is doing bhakti. These days, no one is even doing pious activity. So he was very upset that time, what to speak of now. And as Kali Yuga progresses, people don't even know what is pious activity. People think if you pay your taxes or you don't jump the red light, what if you ask people what do you think is a pious activity? First of all, they may not even know the meaning of the word. We don't hear in general vocabulary these days, oh, he's a very pious person. Generally, we don't hear, especially in the Western world, we don't hear these words. But if you ask them, okay, what is pious or righteous? What does it mean? It means that you have parked your car properly, you have paid your taxes, you have mowed your lawn. What will they say? Such things they will say. Yes, we don't exploit children, or we are a good citizen, we don't throw garbage on the street, we throw it in the litter bin. This is what they will come up with. So they don't know the Vedic standard of pious activities. There are yagyas, there is varnashram system, like that. They have duties according to varna and ashrama. So at that time, Advaita Acharya saw there were many people doing that. And many were doing sinful activities also. But still, no one, or very few people were doing bhakti. So he was very upset and he called Krishna that you have to descend to propagate bhakti. So then he found one verse in one of the scriptures which said, if you worship the Shaligram Shila with Ganges water and Tulsi Manjari, Krishna is saying there that if you worship me with in the form of Shaligram with Ganga Jal, Ganges water and Tulsi Manjari, then I become purchased by you. So he read that verse, and on the strength of that verse, he started worshipping Shaligram Shila, and he started calling Krishna with loud cries. And at the same time, Haridas Thakur also used to chant very deeply and call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by the call of these two devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended. So what is the importance of this pastime for us? We also have to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our heart, because he is the Yuga avatar, or he is Krishna, who comes in once in a day of Brahma. Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma, in Dwapar Yuga, and in the following Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is special. He is giving Krishna's mercy without any qualification. So if we are disqualified, Krishna says you have to be qualified. You have to um, get rid of all the sinful activities. Then you get bhakti. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. Who gets bhakti? One who is on the Brahman level already, who has no hankering, lamentation, who sees everyone equally. But if you see so many of devotees who have come to bhakti, I can't say that for myself that okay, I'm performing bhakti now, but was I on Brahman platform before coming to bhakti? No, I was not. So how did that happen? That was by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Krishna's rules are very strict, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna breaking his own rules. He says, doesn't matter. Papi tapi jatta chilla hari nama udaralo. Whoever is a sinful person or suffering because of past sin, you just take this holy name and love of God. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he has appeared for delivering such fallen conditioned souls in the darkness of Kali. So Lord comes again and again in innumerable forms. Just like waves are coming on the bank of an ocean, we can't count them. So in the same way, Bhagavatam says you cannot count the appearances of different incarnations of the Lord. So he's coming in innumerable forms and exhibiting his pastime. So this Mohini Murti is just one appearance of the Lord, and it's very attractive. Even Lord Shiva got attracted. Has that chapter has passed already. Lord Shiva.
It will come.
It will come. Okay. So after the battle, yeah, that's chapter 12. We are on chapter 9. Mohini Murti bewilders Shiva. So here it is the beautiful features. Mohini Murti has attracted all the demigods and demons. And later Lord Shiva, who is the topmost Vaishnava Naam Yata Shambhu, all the sages are worshipping Lord Shiva. Mohini Murti will even attract Lord Shiva. So it's very interesting pastime of Mohini Murti. So thank you very much. I'll end there and see if you have any questions or comments on what we discussed. Or Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu, for the class.
Hare Krishna.
When I read these verses, I was trying to think that each form of the Lord can be worshipped, can be the Ishtadev or some devotees. And I was trying to meditate on is there any Mohini Murti Bhaktas? And if yes, what is the relationship with the Lord? How they can worship Mohini Murti, knowing that she's that Krishna in this form is attractive, and especially in a feminine form. So how to reconcile the fact that any devotee is supposed to serve the Lord, and at the same time, if you have some devotees worshiping Mohini Murti, how is it going? This relationship between the devotee and Mohini Murti.
Yeah. So there are different incarnations of Lord, and there are worshippers of those incarnations. But for us, we don't have to worry so much about Mohini Murti. As Prabhupada writes in the purport of, I think either 1865 or 1866 in Bhagavad Gita, he writes that as devotees of Krishna, we don't even have to worship other incarnations. Vishnu, they are Vishnu Tattvas. We don't need to. Because in Krishna's body, all the other incarnations are present. But there are descriptions in Bhagavatam and other scriptures of different incarnations being present in different parts of the universe, and they have their devotees. Like there is description of how there are 9 Varshas in Jambudvipa. In 5th canto it is described. We are located in Bharat Varsha, and like that there are other 8 varshas, and in each place there is one incarnation primarily present, and then the devotees of those incarnation worship with those incarnations with different mantras. Then that's the Jambudvipa, and like that there are other different planets within the universe, and then there is the shell of the universe which has 7 layers. So again in Brihad Bhagavatamrita it is mentioned, when Gopakumar was going back to Godhead through the shells, he went to first shell, that was earth, and there Bhumi Devi was the primary devotee worshipping Varaha Deva. And like that he kept going through the shells. When he reached the last shell, which was the most difficult and thickest, and all the material allurements were present there, because it was the last step before going out of the universe, so all the temptations were there. So there Maya Devi was present herself in the full feature, and she was worshipping Mohini Murti. So like that, it's I can't remember of other places, other parts of the universe. Probably in one of the varshas on Jambudvipa, I can't remember that. But like that, these different incarnations are present. But definitely in the last shell of the universe, Mohini Murti is present, and devotees are worshipping her.
Wow, thank you so much.
This comes in Brihad Bhagavatam.
This is the description in Brihad Bhagavatamrita in Gopakumara's story.
Okay.
May I ask another question?
Please.
I heard recently that Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes 4 types of pious people who follow any religion, and some of them practice out of fear, others out of personal interest, others out of duty, and others out of prema, love of God. And you were describing the Vaidhi Bhakti path, the Vagamika Bhakti path, and I was trying to understand the connection between these classifications, because if I understand correctly, it's like the fact that some devotees are on the duty bound is connected with Vaidhi Bhakti, right? And
Yes.
if you start to be imbued with the love of God, and it means you are in the path of love, and so it's the last level. So can we consider that any devotee, any sadhaka, can at most reach this duty towards the Lord? Is the highest, considering our level, is the highest form of bhakti we can perform for now, till there is some Guru Kripa manifesting.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, those two feelings are there, either out of fear or out of duty. But that's also very elevated. We shouldn't look down upon those levels, because raga or real love, that will develop eventually. That's not fully in our control. Lord will give realization eventually if we stick to this point. But out of these, duty consciousness is higher. Doing bhakti with fear, that's the beginning. That, oh, if I don't follow the dharma or religious principles, I'll go to hell. So that's like fear. That is also good. Better than atheists who are not worshipping at all. That's also elevated. But higher than that is duty consciousness. And you were right in saying that would be the highest level that Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakta can reach. But that is very, very elevated. It's not easy to follow even easy to be duty conscious. Because as I was saying, there will be some good days, there will be some bad days. Our mind will be disturbed some days it will be peaceful. But to stick to the duty, it doesn't matter what we feel, how our body is, mind is, just to stick to the duty, that is also part of love, part of a relationship. In any relationship, in a family, people may be sick, a wife may be sick, but she would still cook, husband may be, or these days, those who are working, they may be sick, their husband or wife, they will go to work to feed the children. So that's good, duty consciousness. They may not feel like it, but if they still do it, that is also part of love. So when we stick to it, eventually Krishna will see Tattenukampasu Samikshmano, those who go through everything and they still consider everything as Krishna's mercy, eventually Krishna will provide mercy and revelation, and then we will get natural attraction. Then these things, material pleasure and pain, will not matter much. But that is very elevated level, duty consciousness. But very good question you asked. Hare Krishna. So, anything else? So we finish here? Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai.
Bhakti Saraswati ki
Jai.